Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to, of course, Chelsea News. Here in the Stamford Bridge studio, the daily series where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my opinion on it, mate, for whatever it's worth. More importantly, asking for yours. Today, on today's show, we are talking about the update from Fabrizio Romano regarding the wonder kid, the superstar Endrick, the Brazilian player that plays for Palmeiras, who is the youngest player to ever score in the top division of Brazil. Chelsea are in for the youngster. Everyone is apparently. 60 million release clause. We can talk about that. Chelsea want to wrap up the signing and announce before the World Cup of Christopher Nkunku, which would be massive, mate. And, of course, we are all frightened and feeling vulnerable about our right-hand side. In the absence of Reece James, Chelsea continue their Denzel Dumfries plot? Transfer desire? Right, I'm going to stop mumbling and asking you, I'm going to ask you to drop a like on the video. It takes a millisecond, and it makes me feel good. You are welcome to subscribe, and should you choose to do so, man, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Oh, it's a good one. Special one for you, ladies and gentlemen. Off the bat, let's start with Endrick. So the young Brazilian kid, he's very young. He's 16 years old. I'm more than twice his age. I know many of you watching will think, Jan, surely you're not a day over 22. I'm going to shock you. I am. So, young Endrick, a lot of the football hipsters would know about him because he is a Brazilian superstar, goal-scoring. He's like, they're saying like the next Neymar, but he's more of like a sort of centre forward, I think. Really, really exciting. All the global superpowers in football are all tracking him, and Chelsea have been looking at him for a while. Fabrizio Romano has reiterated this, or that Chelsea are looking at him, and there is a 60 million release clause, which for a Brazilian club, for a 16-year-old, is absolutely a gargantuan sum of money, all things considered. But that's the hype, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters. That is the hype of this 16-year-old Brazilian kid, that he is something incredibly special. And Chelsea are, of course, building this young, youthful team of the future, currently under Todd Boehly and Clearlake, the new ownership. So it's very, very exciting. It would be great fun if Chelsea sign this prodigy, dare I say. And, I would love it. Why not? To see what happens. We are very much in the race to secure the signature of this young man. And, it's the hype is here. The hype is real. And, watch this space. Of course, we will react to any developments on that story here on Football Therapy. So keep it locked, and let's move on and talk about another exciting but slightly older attacker. One thing's for sure. 25th in the Ballon d'Or, that rhymed, is an insult to Frenchman and Leipzig attacker Christopher Nkunku, who is an elite striker / attacking. Well, he's not an attacking midfielder. He's just a forward, isn't he? Although he can play all over the gaff in the forward positions. Graham Bailey saying this, as cited from at Cy Phillips Sport. Chelsea are continuing to make progress in their pursuit of RB Leipzig forward Christopher Nkunku, and are hopeful of confirming his signing before the World Cup kicks off next month. A lot of intonations of how I spoke there. That's pretty big, because we were all thinking, we're just trying to sign a pre-agreement. Yeah, maybe like get it sort of sorted, and by next summer we'll be cooking, we'll be feeling good. But to announce or to confirm the signing of this, let's be real, world-class attacker before the World Cup kicks off, easy for me to say, next month, is an absolutely wonderful thing. I'm feeling good about that. Yeah, man. I mean, I understand why he wanted to stay, at Leipzig before the World Cup, because I think there was other players like that, because they don't want to shake up their form at new clubs before they go and play for their countries, because they want to continue their form, they want to feel comfortable and continue with the club they're affiliated with, they're comfortable with, they're exposed with, they're conditioned to play in. rather than going into a new country, league, and club and language, all that kind of stuff. So I get it, man. But it would be huge for Chelsea to announce, yes, we've signed Nkunku. I feel good about that. He's very technically gifted. Of course, he looks good in the Champions League as well as the Bundesliga. Yes, many people share the same concerns of, oh, but Timo Werner scores a lot of goals in the Bundesliga. Indeed, and it suits Timo Werner because he can run into the space behind the high lines of the Bundesliga, the Germanic high lines. It just suits him perfectly. But the thing is with Timo Werner, he's not that technically gifted for short combinational play in the final third. Hot dog, Christopher Nkunku is, mate. Very much so. And if you all felt good, like I did, watching Chelsea in the Champions League against Salzburg, granted we won't be able to do this in the Premier League all the time, but that cohesive, attacking, forward play, the combinational play, that kind of football suits Christopher Nkunku much better than the aforementioned, but much loved, Timo Werner. Rendering this a very good signing, and he's still relatively young. He's absolutely, he's got a very good chance of starting for France in a front three with, Benzema and Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? This is the caliber of player we're talking about here, and great signing. And if we announce that prior to the World Cup kicking off, I will feel good. Let me know what you think about Christopher Nkunku down in the comments section below. But let's move on and talk about the next story in today's video. Right, Reece James, Reece Flames, the best footballer in the world. Most of you would agree. Granted, the Raheem Sterling and Christian Pulisic wingback experiment worked against RB Salzburg in the Champions League. But is that going to work in the Premier League? Almost certainly not, but hopefully. And you miss Reece James, man. Absolutely miss Reece James. The alternative is either you play like a winger there, like the aforementioned Sterling or Pulisic, or you play Azpilicueta there, he's probably better suited for playing, centre back. Shout out to Azpilicueta, because I don't want to do him dirty. There were occasions when he's played wing back last couple of times when he got forward really well. There was the one game when he was creating loads of chances, and shout out to Azpi, but dude's in his 30s and the role really doesn't suit him that much. So Chelsea do need good wing back cover, especially if we got Cucurella. I know he's not the greatest for wing back, but we got Cucurella and Chilwell. We got Reece James. We need another. Chelsea are very much still interested in Denzel Dumfries of Inter Milan. I'm going to cite an article from 90 Min written by Tom Gott and Graham Bailey. Yeah, we spoke about Graham Bailey earlier. And then we can let's read it. It's not too long, and then we'll talk about it together, you and I. Chelsea are keen to sign a new right-back to improve their depth in the position following the injury to Reece James. 90 Min understands, with Inter's Denzel Dumfries a key target. James is Chelsea's undisputed starter, and the 22-year-old was recently awarded a massive 6-year contract as a sign of the faith they have in him from the co-owner Todd Boehly. But there are concerns about the depth behind him, like we just said. There's not much behind him, Of course, we maybe in hindsight you'd have been like, oh, should we have kept Tino Livramento? Should we have kept Tariq Lamptey? Yes, probably. but here we are. With James facing up to 8 weeks on the sidelines, manager Graham Potter has used the likes of Cesar Azpilicueta and Raheem Sterling, but has failed to replicate the impact that James has, essentially, who was among Chelsea's top performers before going down with a knee injury. Look, man, you're not going to get that Reece James juice. Like, you need to get that off. Off the bat, you need to accept that. But you don't want such a profound drop-off that it makes you way worse as a team in terms of your performances. So, concerns over the lack of high-level replacement for James were present during the summer, when 90 Mil revealed that talks were held with Inter over Dumfries, and sources confirmed the Blues' interest have not faded. Of course, Inter as well, recently won the Scudetto, but they do have financial problems. That's why they sold Hakimi and, to say it quietly, Romelu Lukaku in the same window to make loads of money. And that's why Antonio Conte walked away, because they need to sell off their assets to make the money back. And you reckon they're probably still there? I don't know where they're at financial fair play, but if Chelsea make a sweet offer for Denzel Dumfries, you think, maybe they'd be keen. So yes, so with James facing an extended period on the sidelines, Chelsea have explored a number of different options at right back, and Dumfries' name has come up on multiple occasions, although concerns over his price tag could force the Blues to look elsewhere. He starts for Netherlands as well, doesn't he, Dumfries? This is not the first time Chelsea have found themselves short at right back due to an injury to James. He missed 20 games last season, 11 of which came at once as he suffered a hamstring in December 2021. Oh, okay. Yeah. I understand it. English. While faith in James is unwavering, there is a desire to find a high caliber alternative to the homegrown star, and someone like Dumfries, who has 7 goals and 9 assists in 60 games for Inter, is of interest to Chelsea. Let's talk about it. I think also the thing is with Dumfries is he's a wing back. Do you know what I mean? He's a wing back. It's not playing a winger there like Raheem Sterling, and it's not playing, let's be real, a centre-back there, like Azpilicueta. It is, he's playing a wing-back in a wing-back role that plays down the right-hand side. I've just tried to find out how old he is, and I've put Dumfries, and that's a place. Denzel Dumfries, so he's 26 years old, doesn't turn 27 until April, so yeah, pretty darn good. Of course, he's a right-sided player. Like I said, Netherlands international, starts for Holland. Could you just call them Holland, or is it Netherlands? I never know. Right-footed, plays down the right-hand side, occupies right back or right midfield. He's absolutely prime for a wing-back. His contract goes to 2025, so he'll have 2 years left on his deal at the end of the season, which is probably, if he's not going to extend with Inter, that's probably the sweet spot to sell him. Transfermarkt has him down at 22 million. 22.5 million. Inter would absolutely not consider that, especially if they want to make he makes a lot of appearances. But if Chelsea waive, I don't know, 40 million, is that what you pay for a backup right back these days? Is it? Because that's a lot. Maybe 30 million, 35, I don't know. Maybe they find a way. Still, I'm really interested to get your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on Denzel Dumfries as a rotational player. Many of you will talk about the Chelsea Academy, and of course, had we still got Tino Livramento, would have been ideal, I suppose. But if there's nothing available from the Academy Cobham setup at the moment, I'm not sure how many stars we've got in the youth team at the moment. I don't know if Soonsop Bell's gone off the boil. I know we've got Vale and there's Webster and stuff, but I don't know. It's certainly not the brightest crop of youth that we have had previously. So maybe Chelsea do look to do this. Anyway, I'll put it out to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Football Therapy family. What do you think about everything I've spoken about? Of course, Denzel Dumfries, the right back / right wing back situation. Christopher Nkunku announced potentially before the start of the World Cup, and this young superstar Brazilian striker Endrick. Talk to me. Hit the comments. Let me hear what you're saying. I want to see it. Thank you for all your interactions here on the video, like your likes, your shares, your comments, and of course your subscriptions. You're not forced to subscribe. You're just welcome to. Alright, mate. That's it from me. Keep it locked. I'll see you after the game on the weekend. Peace.